Hey everyone, welcome back to Pop Culture Thursday. And usually when we talk about Brie Larson, it's about movies and Captain Marvel, but not really this time, although she is the star of Captain Marvel. This is a video that I am going to state that it is thanks to Cecil Says. Cecil Says is now for adults only. That this went viral because I have seen versions of his meme that he started a couple days ago all over the place. And there is a video clip that this is taken from. This, I think this is off her Twitter feed, I believe. We'll get to it in a minute. So this is from cosmicbooknews.com, the best place for the best news. I don't know, I just made that up. Brie Larson bubble bath videos goes viral. Now, it's not necessarily, there's a couple of these bubble bath stuff. We'll get to it, but I find it interesting. Captain Marvel star Brie Larson is back in the news as a pair of videos posted to social media have gone viral. The video show Brie Larson running down the steps, apparently playing some sort of pass the word, where she says hunt for Red October and receives Handmaid's Tale in return. A second video shows Brie Larson correctly guessing bubble bath while playing charades. So this is the one that Cecil has made go viral as far as I'm concerned. And I don't think you're going to hear it, but I'm going to mute it anyway. But, you know, we see Brie Larson's figure. She's got narrow waist, and and there she seems to have more of a butt than she does in the movie. There's been a lot of talk about her flopping boobs. In fact, that Star Wars girl was also saying that she thinks that Brie had previously had some kind of implants or something. I don't know. Maybe they were fuller. Who knows? Okay. When she was promoting Kong Skull Island, she had a dress on that, her boobs were at attention. And if you want to see that, go check out the latest Rye Council. It was supposed to be a short one, ended up being almost 4 hours, but Anna goes on. I forget exactly where it is. It's somewhere around the half-hour mark, 20 minutes or something. I forget. But, check it out on Cecil's channel if you want. And maybe if I remember, I'll put a link in the description to that video. But so he made a meme of this part. Now they're talking about her going out and hugging somebody. I don't think she's hugging the person. She's just using the wall behind them to stop. And obviously, but she's laughing, smiling, having a good time. She's emoting, something we don't see her do in Captain Marvel. I know a lot of people have made a lot of stupid comments about it. You're going to have to ask the director. I don't know if it's supposed to be a serious tone. I don't know if what she's considered, serious acting. That is the only movie I've seen her in. I didn't see Kong Skull Island, so I don't know. But, Natalie Portman was very wooden in the prequel. She was wooden in certain scenes in Thor. Her, oh my God, was horribly delivered. But again, as I have stated in other Brie Larson videos, in particular ones where we see her, being a fangirl at Galaxy's Edge, this I think is the real Brie. But this is what we're seeing, the real Brie Larson in these very candid videos, right? She's with her friends. She's having a good time. They're playing silly games, running all over the house. I assume this is her house. I don't know, where this is, but they're having a good time. So why not smile? Now, this other video clip is of her and her friends earlier. So this is the bubble bath one where they're, I guess there's some supposed to be, yep, so I guess that's where she guesses it. Let's see. Now, this person here does he touch her or does he just go around? I don't know. I don't know what she's, okay. So, and I guess it's some speed charades because now, looks like she's here, and then okay, there's a cut. There's a quick cut. So I guess, but it might be one of these, because sometimes you do a game where you go back and forth and you're trying to see how many you can guess and you get total points and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know what they're playing here. So this one I hadn't seen as much, but so we have at Brie Larson, at Milo Mannheim, at Trevor Flanny. Looks like Liz Mueller and Chase Gabrielson. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I guess Gabrielson? Chase Gabrielson? All right. I'm not sure. If I got those wrong, let me know. Warner Brothers also released a new trailer of Larson's latest movie, Just Mercy, which also stars Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx. I guess that's what this is from. Kind of, dressed down, I guess, but hey, it's the part, right? You look the part, play the part. The flick is described as a powerful and thought-provoking true story that follows young lawyer Brian Stevenson Jordan and his history-making battle for justice. After graduating from Harvard, Brian had his pick of lucrative jobs. Instead, he heads to Alabama to defend those wrongly condemned and who were not offered proper representation with the support of local advocate Ava Ainsley. One of his first and most incendiary cases is that of Walter McMillan, who in 1987 was sentenced to die for the notorious murder of an 18-year-old girl, despite a preponderance of evidence proving his innocence and the fact that the only testimony against him came from a criminal with a motive to lie. That happens quite often, unfortunately, and I don't know if this is a black and white thing. It could just be an injustice thing. I kind of hope it's just a general injustice. Gideon's Trumpet that's Henry Fonda. I want to say that the movie's from the 60s, maybe the 70s. Is about an old man who's convicted. I forget exactly of what. And because it's been years and years and years since I've seen that movie. While in prison, he starts to learn about the law and finds out about due process and all these things that he was denied. People tried to pin a crime on him, and he was able to get a new trial and was set free. Now, what I don't remember is if it was a true story based on a true story or just kind of a general, fictionalized account type thing, something to fight for justice. But too often this happens, and quite often it's not just the police and the justice system. I know some places it's very corrupt, but quite often the public is a problem. When they're demanding someone be accused, they'll say they want justice, but what they really want is they want someone to find, the police to find the criminal and prosecute them. Sometimes they never do figure out who did what. And sometimes there's just too much public pressure to come up with somebody and railroad them into a conviction. And that type of thing also happens. In years that follow, Brian comes embroiled in a labyrinth of legal and political maneuvers and overt and unabashed racism as he fights for Walter and others like him with the odds. This is one of these things that unfortunately the 60s, even after the civil rights movement and all that, some things didn't get better. Some things actually got worse. This is one of the things when you wag your finger in front of someone and accuse them of being something, even when they are, they don't tend to like it, especially society in general. And when they can get back at you or your kind, you can put that in air quotes, they will take that opportunity. And that's unfortunately what happens in some of these cases. But sometimes they're just stupid mistakes are made. Sometimes it's just plain bad luck. But a lot of people want to believe, hey, they got convicted. They must have done it, even if the evidence isn't there. Regarding the return of Captain Marvel, though, Kevin Feige hinted recently over the summer, Marvel Studios and Disney have yet to announce a sequel. I don't think there's any. There's what do I want to say? This is not surprising. A recent rumors offered that Brie Larson may appear as Carol Danvers and Captain Marvel in the Disney Plus Miss Marvel series. I think Disney knows how unpopular Captain Marvel is. I know the movie brought in over $1 billion. Okay, I'm not going to argue the box office, although in the U.S. there's a lot of shenanigans. I never heard any of that kind of shenanigans from China, which is where a lot of that international box office came from. I don't fully know what Disney's afraid of. Now, granted, I don't know how much of that money Disney gets, and that may be part of the problem. The Chinese government may keep a lot. I know in general they get about 60 to 70% of that on internationally. They don't get as much as they do domestically. They know how poorly it did domestically. They know that the biggest reason it did well amongst normies in the U.S. is because of where they sandwiched it. But the comic book that they're basing this character on cannot get out of its own way. It will have momentary spikes, but even its best sales, 10 years ago would have been thought of pathetic and would have canceled a comic book. It has been rebooted multiple times, and I know the Brie Larson apologists will just yell and scream at me. Hey, look, I looked at the same sales chart you did, and yes, it had a spike, but then it goes back to normal, and you're talking 20 to 25,000 copies being sold in a month. That is horrible, and I know that it's down across the board, but the fact that they have not said even when one might come out, when the planning is, to me speaks volumes that they are scared to death to have a solo Marvel movie for Captain Marvel, and have it do like what Solo did for Star Wars. Because Solo for Star Wars was really, in many ways, the turning point where Disney started to wonder, what are we doing? They kind of got away with one in Rogue One, and Solo really made them take notice. And we'll see what happens in the future. So let's get to some comments and wrap this up. You know, people don't need to hear me talk for 20 minutes on something. What in heaven's name is the point of this article? It's a slow news week. Yeah, there you go. That's lose a bet. Retard trying to stay relevant. I don't know about that so much as someone. It might be more this Matt McGlow, you know, trying to stay relevant, because these are just. Is this Twitter or is this Twitch? Brie Larson HQ. Did it say and I missed it? No, just social media. Okay. Anyway, that looks like a Twitter video, but especially vertical. Anyway, let's look a handful of other comments. You know, Brie is so. If a video of her taking a bubble bath, but only slightly more interesting. But they built her in a lab for this purpose. See, the unlikability, I think, comes from her handlers telling her she needs to talk us her way and being afraid, right? She's afraid of losing her job just like anybody else. And if she doesn't speak wokeness, she could lose her job. And, you know, it's not fully surprising. I may use this as my image. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, so we'll see. So anyway, what do you think of her bubble bath videos? And that's kind of, you can put that, and I just quoted, but I actually, again, I think this is the real Brie. Her having fun with her friends. We've seen her before in like I said, at Galaxy's Edge. We've seen her in some other things, kind of geeking out over Star Wars and different items. This is the real Brie Larson behind the scenes, the one that's up there chastising men and doing all of this. And I know the apologist said, "Oh, I mean, she meant a bigger pie." That's not what she said originally. And she also, for the one movie that I don't remember the name of, a moment, it was, whatever in time, she did ban men from coming along with, with the media stuff. And I know people have said that it's a boys club and it's exclusive, and that may be true. I don't know. But this is where the internet, I think, is becoming the equalizer. And this is why YouTube banning anybody that's not inciting violence and stuff like that. There's certain people that can't speak freely, and that's a problem. And the algorithm buries, so they could bury, you could have a minority movie critic who doesn't like Captain Marvel, and, that video get buried. Perhaps, but if they love Captain Marvel, if you have right think, everything's okay. And it just may be a personal preference. They just didn't like the movie. It may have nothing to do with it, its message or anything else. And who knows? They may, love Frozen 2. I don't know. But I think those opinions need to be freely expressed. So what do you think of this? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for stopping by. Say howdy to Cecil and pester him the next time he does a live stream. All right, and send him $5 and then pester him. All right, thank you so much, and we'll see you. Goodbye. Oh, that might help. Strange. I'm going to put it over here. Otherwise, we'll get burp, 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 burp. Is this enough? Yes, more than enough. All right, 3, 2, 1.